Hi everybody, it's Heidi here again. Today we're going to be doing wired cutlery. We did say just spoons, so these are my long handled spoons, so like ice cream spoons, or we use them for like hot chocolate, or if you're taking a travel mug, one of those really tall ones, so you can stir your coffee, etc. So up close. Now these are quite old ones. I used to sell them when I used to have a unit over at the Antique Centre across the road from us. So these beads are not available now. They're quite old ones that I had about, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years ago. So those are the long handled spoons. And again, you can do it on teaspoons as well. So a bit of reflection on those, not so good. Okay, so I've done some cutlery as well. I used to have, I had one customer that was giving cake forks and, hi Dawn, cake forks and a cake slice as a wedding gift, and she wanted hers beading up for the bride and groom. So that's really nice to do, and it's also nice to do a set of cutlery. So that's what we're going to look at today. So I'm going to turn you down so you can see what's on my mat. Okay, so you can see I have got some cutlery. Okay, so they don't have to be all matching, but it's nice if you're doing a set for somebody, you can do them roughly. Obviously, as the size goes down to teaspoons, sometimes you can't fit as many of the beads on the width-wise, but these are all kind of matching because they've got the same beads on them. Okay, so I have got one of the long-handled spoons, and I've got the beads the same as these lovely purple ones, to show you how I did it. Okay, so I grabbed some beads, and as I say, you don't have to make them all matching. You can make them all different, but it's nice if you're giving a set of cutlery to somebody, to do them all kind of matching in a colour that they like. So basically what we've got is, this wire is a 0. I think it's a 0.9, this one. Yeah, 0.9 millimetre. This lovely purple. And the colour is dark purple. Now, it doesn't have to be 0.9. It can be, oh actually, it's not that one, it's this one. It's this bright purple, which is a 0.7. So anything from a 0.7 up to a 1 mil wire will be fine. I prefer 0.7 or 0.9 purely because you can get more beads on it because it's thinner. And I take, for all of my cutlery, I do about the width of my mat, which is I think 12 by 12, plus about a half again. So I take a length of wire, and very good if you have your nylon jaw pliers, so that if you've got any kinks in your wire, you can just run your wire through your pliers to straighten it back out again. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is with my round nose pliers. Now, if you've been on one of our wire classes, you probably will have learned how to do this, but to make a spiral. So you can see on the top of this one, that's how it starts, with a spiral. Okay, so I take my round nose pliers, and all I do is with the tip of them just make a little loop, just so it touches. I don't know if you can see that, so you can just see there, tiny weeny little loop. And then use your nylon jaw, or if you haven't got nylon jaw, you can use your flat pliers, and just hold it so you can just see, I don't know whether you can can see that close enough. Let's see what we can do. You can just see the edge of it. So what you're doing is pushing the wire against the edge of itself to wrap it around to make that spiral. And each time you move it further round, keep it flat with your pliers and just keep passing it round so it wraps upon itself. And you only need to see the edge of it so that it's the edge that you're pushing the wire up against to make your spiral. And when you get more proficient with this, you can obviously do it a bit quicker, but I suggest if you've not done it before, do it really slowly so that you don't rush it and end up with the wire going on top of itself, which can happen if you're not concentrating. So you only need a tiny bit at the side exposed so that you can see where you're wrapping that wire to. Okay, and when I'm doing a set like this, I tend to just take it to one of the ones that I've already done, oops, and just see if the size is the same. So I just want to do a little bit more on it. Okay, and then I'm going to use my round nose pliers to just kink the wire, oops, back over to the other side. And this is when we take it to the spoon. So I'm going to sit that, let's do it this way so you can see, sit that spiral on the top. I'm just going to put my fingers over it a second so that I can hold it still. And I'm just going to wrap it around underneath itself. So don't worry if it starts moving around, because at the very end we will do something to secure it. Okay, so I've got enough wraps around it. I'm just going to add 2 of my beads to the wire. Okay, and you can see just added those 2 beads, and then I generally, when I wrap 2 times in between. Oops, let's move that down a bit. 2 times before I add, oops, the next set of beads or whatever I've got to put on there. Oops. So the next thing I've got is a little acrylic metallized disc, and I tend to sort of push it backwards slightly on the wire so that it gives it enough space to wrap around. Oops, daisy. And get it in position. So there we go. And then wrap around again twice, and this wire will go underneath this little disc thing. Okay, and then we add 3, and these are the little lava rocks beads. Oops, daisy. So just hold it nice and firmly and wrap around, and then another 2 of these beautiful, I want to call them like cat's eye beads because they are similar to cat's eye beads. And then probably could have done with a bit more wire on this one, but never mind. Okay, so at the very bottom I've got this wire sticking out, and again I'm just going to turn it round so that it's creating just a little tiny, I don't know whether you can see that actually, tiny loop and do the same thing again. You might not get, if your wire's a bit short, I mean the best thing to do ideally is if you find that you've cut too short a piece of wire is to just cut it off and start again if you want it to be perfect. I'm not too worried. So we've got a small little spiral here and a bigger one at the top. Now the way to secure this so that it doesn't move up and down is go to the back and use your pliers to press. Press on the back of it, and this will secure your wires. So, and all cutlery is different. So for instance, this spoon has got a curved back, so quite nice because the wire presses down into it and holds it nice and secure. So now we've got, let's just do another little twist on that. We've got the long spoon to match it. Okay. So now I've got some other colours here. So I've got this gorgeous blue. And you don't have to start with a spiral. You can start with any shape that you want. You can make a little love heart shape, or you can do a triangle. So let's do, so I'm using my flat pliers here. Let's do a little sort of triangle shape. Oops, daisy. Okay, once you've got that shape there, you can then play around. So it's not quite square, but it's a shape. So this one's more of a rounded triangle, I should say. Okay, let's grab a knife and let's anchor it. Okay, so I'll put it on here. Some nice royal blue beads. Oh, and some little tiny ones. These are nice. These are all the glass beads from the shop. Oops, a daisy. And I've got some of these, those cat's eye type ones. And I've got some silver beads. So let's start with these beautiful cat's eye, and I've got some spacers that can go in between. So if I use 2 of those and wrap around, oh, I like that, that's very pretty. Let's use one of these and choose another one of those spaces. Oh, let's use a silver bead. And then we've got these little what have I got I can put in between those? Oh, got some little tiny spaces. We've got a whole wall full of, whoops-a-daisy. We've got a whole wall full of spaces. Silver, gold, copper, hundreds of different sorts, and I'm positive that not all of them are on the website, but if you come into the shop, my goodness, you will be sport for choice. Okay, so we've got a nice selection there. So you don't have to finish with a spiral, you can finish with some sort of a swirl. So I'm going to do a kind of a loop. And if you do this and then you're not happy with it, just use your nylon jaw pliers and you can redo it. So just some random shapes and it makes the world of difference. So now, quickly whilst I'm here, I just want to show you something. So I've been looking on Amazon and various other places, and I get adverts come up on my Facebook, and there seems to be a massive popularity for these things called ear crawlers. Now, they have a hook which goes over the top of your ear, and then this pointed part here goes through your normal piercings at the bottom of your earlobe. So whether you have one or two, this bit goes through the bottom and this bit hooks on to your ear. Okay, and they're about £20 each. They're so expensive. So I thought, I'm sure I can make some of these. So I did. So here was my first one. I wanted something a bit different than what they've got online. So I used my Hope beads, and this is some of the coiling gizmo wire that I wrapped, and I turned a little hook at the back with a little loop, and I cut it at the bottom, and then I have this tool that I have from the shop, and it's just a little tiny dimple there with a bit like a nail file, or not a chisel, like sandpaper. And if you pop the end of your wire into it and just keep turning it backwards and forwards, it smooths off and rounds the end of your wire so that it's not sharp and catching. So there's one, but then I thought, right, okay, we can do a bit better than that. It's not very sparkly. So I did another one. This one I really like, and I tried this one on, it looks fabulous. So you do your little hook, and then I had a straight piece of wire, and all I did was I used my GS High Post cement, and I put some glue at the top, popped all my little beads on, and as I went down I added more glue halfway down, and then more glue at the bottom here, pushed all my beads up to where I wanted them to be, and then once I'd glued them all, I used my paintbrush to spiral it, and then again on the end of my wire I'm just using my little rounder to round that wire up at the bottom. So I just thought, because this is so fashionable at the moment, you can really do whatever you want, and any of the beads you can use your GS High Post cement. So my go-to glue for all my jewellery bits, and just glue your first bead on, and then glue your last bead on, and maybe a couple in the middle, just to secure them so they don't drop. And this looks absolutely stunning on. In fact, let me turn the camera up and I will show you. Oops, a daisy. So, I have to get my hair out the way. So I'm just going to poke it through first. And I have got my other earrings in as well, so the good thing with this is that you can squeeze that top bit. So there's my ear crawler. And let's try the other one as well. I actually found the one that I'd ordered offline, I mean, I don't know whether I've got particularly large ears. So there's the other one. Not so good on this ear because I've got a piercing on the inside here, so it kind of gets confusing. But there you go. I actually found that the one that I bought, which was this one, was a bit short and it kept falling out of my ear, so it wasn't particularly great, because it's supposed to hook over the top bit there, but it's not. So I'm glad that I was able to oops a daisy, there we go. And obviously I wouldn't have that one there. So yeah, I just thought that might be a little trick that you might want to try. So, root out any spare cutlery. Obviously you can get it quite cheap in certain shops, you know, you can buy cheap cutlery, and obviously, you know, you can really jazz it up. Or you could buy like antique cutlery. Some of the antique cutlery is really nice, and it has nice shaped handles and things like that, so it gives you a wider base to use more beads on it. So you can play around with it. You can't put them in the dishwasher, although it has been done, but it tends to make your beads fade, and obviously if you have got silver on it, it's going to tarnish. So hand wash only, and to be honest with you, they stay on there for yonks. You know, they don't sort of fall off very easily, and they do stay on. I mean, these ones that I did years ago, you know, they're still in really good nick. So yeah, so it's really nice to use for a gift for somebody. And I think I did one year, I actually did it was called a Heidi's Hug. It was a hot chocolate kit, and we did the spoons with chocolate on them, so that you could dip that into your hot chocolate and melt chocolate into your hot chocolate. So yeah, right, okay, Donna's up next on Wednesday. She's going to be on Create and Craft, I believe, doing jewellery making, and then at 3:30 on Wednesday she's going to be doing her Kumihino endings. So those of you that have got loads of Kumihino pieces that need finishing off and having the ends put on, catch up with Donna on Wednesday at 3:30. Okay, so I shall say goodbye now. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and any questions, just shoot us your questions. Yes, the hot chocolate spoon idea is lovely, and I did those bags that look like a piping bag, you know, a triangular one. I did one of those with drinking chocolate in it, and then a layer of marshmallows, and then the spoon came with it with melted chocolate on it, so it's solidified, and then you could stir that in once everything was nice and hot and frothy. So yeah, really lovely. Nice gift for someone, and you could actually give it to them with a mug as well, so really nice gift. Okay guys, so Donna will see you on Wednesday at 3:30. Thanks for tuning in to us. Take care, bye.